Have you ever lost a sale and thought to yourself, why didn't they choose us? We're so obviously the best choice. Why didn't they know this? Why couldn't they work it out? If only they understood our business, they'd see that we were clearly different and clearly the right choice. Or perhaps your business fails to break through on social media and nobody pays you any attention at all. Perhaps your business finds it hard to stand out in a competitive field in any meaningful way. If this sounds like you, then stick around. Hi there, my name is Bob Gentle and welcome back to Amplify. If you enjoy content like this, then consider subscribing. Just give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell. That way YouTube knows to show you videos like this more often and will also send you a notification every time I post new videos, which is normally every Tuesday. And I talk about all kinds of topics around digital marketing, content marketing, social media, search marketing, anything around building your business online. If you have questions, ask them down in the comments as they come up and I'll be waiting down there to answer them. So let me ask you this. Is your business the same as your competitors? Do you do the same things in the same way as all the others? Are your values, your motivation, your ethos and your mission the same? Is it true there is nothing to differentiate you from your competitors? If you're like most business owners, you'll probably scream back a big fat no. But how would I know this? How, unless I'm your mother, would I discover this X factor that makes you so different from your competitors? And I don't mean that sarcastically. I know there are differences, but for me, they're largely invisible, and they're also invisible to the rest of the world. So, what is that X factor? You might tell me it's your story, your motivations, your systems, your values, your pricing, your customer service, or a whole bunch of other things. Through all of these things, you're essentially expressing the same thing to me in different ways. What you're essentially expressing is your value. Every business is pretty much the same. It's a value exchange. I have something of value. I look for the person who wants that value the most, and we trade. And if you want to succeed in business, then you need to refine and perfect that value and show it as clearly as possible to that ideal customer. There are two tools businesses are traditionally taught to use. One is the long-winded and frankly boring value proposition. And on the other hand, we have the super snappy elevator pitch, which again is pretty complicated and hard to remember. Neither of them are very useful at helping us with anything other than having more documents to store. So let me introduce you to the very useful and easy to create value positioning statement. First, this might seem as though it's so simple, it's silly. But I promise that if you follow through with it, you'll have a powerful tool. Pretty much every time I walk through this with clients, it gets exciting and they get a little bit emotional. The value positioning statement has 3 parts. Only 3. It's really very simple. But the trick and the challenge is to be as specific as possible, and that's much harder than it sounds. So the 3 parts go like this. Part 1, I help whoever your ideal dream customer is. Be specific. Part 2, to do whatever the thing is that you do. Again, be very specific, not generic. Part 3, so that they can enjoy a specific benefit. So we'll go into this a little deeper. But before I do, I want to remind you, and acknowledge that at this point, you might be laughing into your soup. Imagine for a second, just imagine that you didn't have to fight for all that second-rate work, that you were in fact always chosen first. If this was true, then who would that client be? Who would it be that you would want to choose you first? That's who you put in part 1. And I hope now you can start to see its power starting to grow. Because what we've done is identify if you could only do business with one person and they were always your very, very best customer, you've now decided that's who you help. Everyone else will come to you anyway. So part 1, I help my fantasy best customer. And you need to find a way to describe and define that person. And then in part 2, to do a thing, whatever service you want to provide. But what I want you to think about here is, if you could only focus on doing the kind of work that you love the best, the most profitable work, the work that's most aligned with your sense of personal mission, or the kind of work that allows you to hire the best people and your team to express their best work. This is what's going to go into part 2. What work that, if you could choose the one part of your business that you could really focus on, this is what goes into part 2. So I help dream customer to do the thing that I most wanted to do in the world for them. And then we come to the third part. And that's, what is the result that they're going to expect to achieve? What is their goal in hiring you? And how are you going to help them see that benefit? What is it that they want to see? So it gets easier when I give a few examples. So my first example is for a wedding videographer. Wedding videographers are everywhere. They do pretty much the same thing. So how can we provide a value positioning statement that when it's used by a wedding videographer, the person that's in the market for that's going to go, wow, this is different. So this is the value positioning statement for a wedding videographer. I help couples in love to capture the most important day of their life so that they can share it with generations to come. It's quite straightforward, quite simple, but when you're introducing yourself as I'm a wedding videographer, I help couples in love to capture the most important day of their life so that they can share it with generations to come, that has a little bit of emotional power to it that will carry that signal more clearly. So I'll give you another example of a business that's traditionally quite boring. It's difficult to connect with on an emotional level, and that would be mobile phone sales. Nobody cares about mobile phone sales. They're all doing the same thing, aren't they? Clearly not. So in this example, we're focusing on somebody who does business-to-business mobile phone sales. Their value positioning statement might go something like this. I help the UK or the US's most dynamic business owners. So now you've said who you're working for, and I'm a dynamic business owner. Now you have my attention. I help the UK's most dynamic business owners to unlock the potential of mobile technology so that they can get business done anywhere. Wow, that sounds awesome. It's not just awesome, it's very easy to remember. And that's important. You need to have this down, because this is how you're going to be introducing yourself. It's going to be at the top of all your social media profiles. It's going to be on your website. It's going to be everywhere. And it becomes the banner that you effectively stand behind. It becomes the beacon that shines out through your content. So one final example is for a florist. Again, florists do flowers. That's what they do. It's hard to really take it any further than that. So here we have, I help passionate people and organizations, because I want to sell flowers to businesses, not just people. So I help passionate people and organizations to express their love so that they can get closer to the people who matter. Wow, you know what? I'm going to hire you to put some flowers in reception because that connected with me. This is how a value positioning statement works. So if you look down below in the comments for this video, if you're watching on YouTube, you will find a link to a worksheet where you can work through this on your own. But from these examples, you'll find that what we've done is allow you to connect more deeply and with something that's really simple and really snappy. Now, when someone says, so what do? You'll have that wow answer. The value positioning statement is simple, and because it's simple, it's very practical. And like any practical and simple tool, it gets used. When you start using it in social media profile descriptions, email signatures, website headers, business cards, and anywhere else you regularly show up, it starts to have an impact. But more important than this, it starts to act as a compass for your content marketing. Your value positioning statement acts as a little value power station, fueling a beacon to attract your ideal client online. Have a go at creating your own value positioning statement. You'll find the temptation at first is to make it quite long, but keep stripping it back and distilling it down until it's simple and powerful. Once you have it, use it everywhere. Let it be the power station which fuels and directs all your content marketing and provides you with a much stronger sense of identity, which cuts through much, much more clearly. Again, down in the comments below this video, well, in the description rather, you'll find a link where you can download my value positioning statement worksheet, which has 3 of the examples that I gave you in it, along with a little form that you can fill in to experiment and build out your own. If you enjoy content like this, if you are focused on building your business online and building your reach, then consider subscribing to this channel. Just give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and then also hit the bell. That way YouTube will send you notifications every time I publish new videos, which right now is mostly every Tuesday. If you have questions, I will be waiting for you down in the comments. For now, my name is Bob Gentle. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.